she has another tutorial that she's going to be going over with us here. And I'm going to kind of show this here. But Birchstar has this other tutorial, and you can see how it's bleeding, for one, but you see the size of it. Now, let me grab my selection tool, and you can see this is kind of like what Pharrell was working on, where it's the offset voxels. So we get to see more offset stuff. That's awesome. But if you notice, I mean, if I took just my add tool here and I tried to create this, you know, that my version of it don't quite turn out the same. I mean, it looks like this. We got these really big blocks, which hers are like a good 3/4 the size of it here, which is, you know, just shrinks that size down. So she's going to show us how she does her lattice, which is going to be pretty wicked here. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you. Hand it over to her, sorry. And she will show us how she does her little inlays. And let me move this out of your way. I know this is some of Pharrell's work that he dropped off the other day, which was doing offsets. So let's exit out of that. Let me get this out of your way. All right. All right, she says she knows that various people have been asking for information on how to use the board that she put together. So she thought that this would be a good example and a good way to do it. And this is the board that she created. And I've seen a few variations of this, and I think Rave has one that it looks almost like a double stack of this. It's pretty big. Yeah, I was thinking to say that. I think Rave has a really big one of this. Birchstar says, I'm going to use the small version of the board because I don't want to use the 1.5 voxel offsets for this. And this reduces the likelihood of me grabbing the wrong shape.
Yes, I do.
All right. But yes, we have Birchstar's big board, and it's most likely going to end up on the board claim. Because we've got a bunch of new boards. Oh my God, the boards are coming out of the ass here. Okay, but she's going to show us how to make this simple pattern, and at the same time show how to use these offset voxels in the process. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. So I tell you what, Birchstar, I'm going to move this over so that you have a little bit more room. So let me grab this. Oops. I'll try to give you some more room over here. There you go. She says the one up top is the big version. It has everything that's on the small one and then some. First, I'm going to set up 2 reactors to isolate the 2 shapes I'll need for it. Alright. Yeah, and that's the big board. Just so y'all know, that's the one that we'll have available for everybody here. But these are 2 reactors here that she's going to be using to isolate the 2 shapes she needs for this right here. She says that I'm going to want a singly offset microvoxel. I'll use the one shrunk 5 times for this. Okay. The micros are the ones which are painted grass. So this one is micros. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's down on the 7th one right now. So this is a standard size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you're on 6, Birch. Either that or I'm wrong. It's one or the other. Either way, you see which one she's on. That's the one we're going after. I think I know what this one is. This is the one that was control smoothed, probably. But you see that this offset voxel, where it physically resides is right here where she's grabbed it at, but the visually resides way out here. The first column.
I'm going to AFK for a bit.
All right. She says that the first column is a guidepost build out of normal cubes so you can tell where to grab them. Gotcha. Okay. So in other words, these guideposts kind of tells you where they're going to be at. Next, she's going to want to end offset string of the same size. Okay. So she's literally grabbed each one of these. She grabbed this one that was off of this, and then she grabbed the one just above it, which was the string, which is this one here. And in other words, she grabbed one of these and then like one of these and has pasted one of each of them into one of the 2 different reactors here. I'm gonna buy Birchstar a mic, I swear. Now facing towards the board, still, I'm going to make a grid out of the micro, just like making a grid out of a normal micro. Okay, so she's making a frame here. And with a normal microvoxel, when you're making these type of grids, you have to repaste onto those corners to actually make them go and pop back the way they're supposed to be. So she's getting all the grid itself laid down and is repasting into each one of those corresponding corners to fix those little imperfections, to literally make it into what looks to be like a window pattern. And just so we're kind of clear on this, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got literally a 5 by 5 pattern here using the offset microvoxel, which was the first thing we grabbed with the green handle or the green coloring. All right. Now she's copying that offset. She says, next I'm going to copy this and mirror it and paste it over itself to make a larger grid. What the hell, that's a pretty cool design by itself there. She said, obviously this isn't quite square, so let's touch that up. So as you can tell, she's going in and putting in other microvoxels to get the shape exactly the way she wants it to be. And you can tell that there are certain places that are kind of missing voxels, and I believe the reason why we have that other one that she pulled out was for that purpose, was to be able to put voxels in places that you normally wouldn't be able to. Unless... No, it looks like she's able to do it, so that's pretty cool. Duh, foot and mouth. All right, so, well, she got her grid. So she's already made this part of it right here. Now she's going to put it in a frame. So she's going to make her frame shape here. You remember when you got to select this, it's literally 3 voxels wide because you have the handles on both sides of that visual area. All right. It's kind of weird how it kind of reacts with other voxels. It's like it fights with it. Doesn't know if it wants to push or pull. She says that, and it may not be obvious, but it does, excuse me, badly if you just try to stick it straight into the frame. I'm going to assume that you can do that X Vogue, but you've got to kind of be cautious about how you're getting close to the edge. Like if this was your like circle and it was like, or your curved frame was like this towards you, right? Where you're putting the lattice in is on the sides. So if the curved frame was in the center, your lattice is actually on the outside of it. So if you get too close to that curving, it's going to pull it out like this. So it may distort it a little bit. So you have to kind of keep some distance on it. And what she just said was, if it wasn't obvious, when putting it close to other voxels like that, it distorts it. So that's where the other shape that she pulls out comes in. She's going to use that to create a sort of barrier between the lattice and the frame. So she's grabbed this other shape that she pulled out and is dropping it down. And I think you're off by a voxel. Yeah. And her answer to that question was she hasn't done that with this grading yet, but she has with just straight bars. So she's literally going around the outside edges here and placing these offset voxels. Now, what I'm seeing here, it looks like to get it to look the way she has it over there, she's going to have to come back through and place microvoxels back into the grate, and that will suck those offsets back inwards, so it literally forms a straight line. She says that she can never remember which bars are which side of the grate. And it looks like it's folding to us this time. I was giving her a visual cue. The answer is yes, inebriated. If you watch the one that we did with Pharrell, he walked through the process of making the offsets for that design in the back there, and it works pretty much the same fashion. So you can check that out, and you can kind of see how they're made. I think it's fighting with her right at the moment, so we'll give her a few moments to kind of get all that situated, because it's all about the rotation. Because some of them, the handle's on this side, on the side that we're standing, and then there's others where that handle is on the other side. Even though the visual area is in the center, the handle for that is either one side or the other. So getting that rotation exactly where you need it for either side. Like this one, let me see if I can grab this here. There's one handle. It's going to skip one, and then it's another handle. And then if we come over here, it's right reversed. There's one handle, skip one, goes to the next, skips one, goes to the next. So it's literally like this. If you can kind of see that, it looks like this. In other words, where my palms are would be the handles, and where the visual representation of those voxels would be the ends of my fingers. And they're literally like this. And that's how she's able to get those protrusions to come out and not basically pull on each other. Now she says she's going to go back and touch up those intersections. In other words, she's gone back and taken that microvoxel, and now she's going to paste back into those cross sections. Now, of course, you got to remember she's got two of them. She's got one on this side. It's like this. One on this side, and then she's got one on this side. So she's going to have to fix one side and then flip it over, and then fix the ones up in the opposing corner. As you can tell, it takes a lot just to get that pattern to look the way it does. You know, it's not something that's, you know, very simple, but the way it looks when it's finished, it looks like you could easily do it, but it's not. It's not something that's simple. I mean, trying to do this with microvoxels, you'd never be able to get little squares that small doing this with the microvoxels. So she says, looks like I got the bars backwards on the one side. So she's got to go back and replace these bars so that she can go in and actually fix them. Hopefully I won't mess her up too much here, but I want to, if you can see here, that is where this bar right here actually resides. It's on the back side, and it's off to that one side of it. This over here, there is nothing physical here. I mean, I can't grab this at all. So if I put a frame around it, this right here is literally going to just protrude into whatever it is that I have there. And that's basically what she has here. If I take my selection tool and I mouse over this, you can see there's nothing physically there that I can grab a hold of. Now, when I come over closer to the center, you can see where I'm literally grabbing a hold of it. And you can see that alternating pattern. To the back, to the front, to the back, all the way up. And that's basically what she's trying to do now, is to do that back and forth pattern with the offsets. What's up, Da Vinci? Da Vinci. I'll get it right, I swear. But she is very close to having this on lockdown. This is something new, you know, that's within the game now. The offset voxels, and this all came about because of roaming vectors. Because roaming vectors basically allowed us to push and pull voxels into shapes that we previously couldn't do before. And but with a little tinkering, a little playing, people kind of figured out, hey, wait a minute, my selection's here, but the voxel's way the heck out here. And that basically where it all started. But you can see she's pretty much knocked this out now and got this thing all set up. It looks really good on this back side here, so this would probably be the face that you kind of push towards somebody. And you can tell that she used these gem or metal type patterns here to kind of hide some of the little deformations and stuff on it. So now she's making a new pattern, which is a little bit bigger than what she had before, and now she can actually take that and lay it in there and it not basically screw up everything that was around it. So all right. She says that the frame should match the size of the grate with the spacers. All right, she's just copied it. Now she's going to paste it into the center here. And voila, look at that. So we got this new little texturing here, new way of doing lattice. That's actually really cool, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some really cool stuff that we're going to end up doing with other races. If it doesn't work out with Karen, we could probably use it with another race. So some really cool stuff here. Awesome job, Birch. Awesome job. So everybody, you know, let Birchstar know, say thank you. I think she's in Twitch here with us, so be sure to let her know, say thank you and whatnot. Hopefully we can get her to come on later on at some point in time and show us something else. That would be awesome. Let's see. We've got, but hopefully Birchstar doesn't mind. I'm going to end up cutting this into 2 pieces. It's going to be 2 different tutorials, and I'll have it up on the YouTubes. And I'll go ahead and give you guys the link for YouTube. There you go. And if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, right now we have 72 tutorial videos, and that list is growing slowly but surely, but it is growing. Oh, she has just pasted it into a solid here, and we've got another. That is cool. It literally pushed the voxels on the sides flat into a flat panel just because of the width of the this offset. That's really cool.